morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have a look at the new American Tier 9, the M V Yoh, the alien tank. Just look at that head. It honestly looks like an alien. Decent tank. It is a pretty decent tank. Now, like the Tier 10, it does have two guns to choose from. You can either choose this gun with the two shells, 120mm gun, or you can use the 105mm gun with the three shells. Now, I personally, I like the two shell because of that, the alpha. But this tank, I usually run this gun here, which is the three shell. Don't know why. It's pretty much the same gun as the tier 10 version, but you know, coming up against tier 8s as such, I like the DPM. The DPM for me favors the alpha. 2000 DPM. So, but the DPM isn't actually different. It isn't that much different. So you've either got this, which is the 450 alpha, or you have this, which is the 300 alpha. And I didn't actually think the DPM was that much different. So 22-second reload on that one, and the two shell is 25 seconds. So not too much different, but again, either gun, it's up to you. Like, it really is up to you. This one on the tier 10, you have like a 500 DPM difference between each gun, where this one you have literally hardly anything. It's 23, which is nothing really. So you could go for the alpha, or you could just go for the three shot and then sort of just hide. The DPM, the reload time is of course what, 3-4 seconds lower. So it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. Both guns are equally as good. The penetration, again, the penetration between the two guns is hardly anything. You can see that the AP pen is 13 more. The heat pen is 10 more, but the HE is less. And of course you have the alpha that's less. Everything else is pretty much the same. This tank has 8 degrees of gun depression, whereas the tier 10 version has 10 degrees. So a slight difference there. Now, I thought I would actually really enjoy this tank, to be honest. I'm not enjoying. I thought this would be better than the tier 10 version because of that turret. Because the turret, I mean, look at the size of the turret. It literally only just fits your freaking gun on it. So the turret is a very, very difficult pen because of the shape, because of the size. It's quite a difficult turret to pen. The hull as well. The armor is pretty good. It's not impenetrable, but I mean, that was actually quite a nice shot there on the turret of the E5. I'm not gonna lie. But equally, it's just as good. It is just as good as the tier 10 version. Now, funny enough, this and the tier 10, the M V Yoh, is not my favorite tank in the line. We're going to talk about my favorite tank in the line in a separate video, but they are pretty good. They are good. If you watched his Royal Fatness's video on these tanks, if you run 2 of them in a platoon, then it's absolutely amazing. Well, not in a video. He done an Instagram post. So running them in a platoon, I haven't done so yet, but I kind of, at the minute, because there are quite a lot of these and the Yohs running around at their new tanks, when I play, if I can, I do try and sort of partner up with another one, or an auto loader. As you can see here, we come to help the Emil. He's an auto loader as well, so we really wanted to help him out and work well as a team, which we're going to do here, because that way you can just inflict so much damage in so little time. And that's why working as a pair of these, if you're both using the two shell, you're doing 900 damage, so you're doing 1800 damage in 1.7 seconds. That is enough to clear a tier 9. Pretty much, that is enough to clear a medium tank, almost enough to clear a a medium tank in tier 10. You can see 2000 DPM there, 2000 hit points there with the T62. So if you get high rolls, or if you can get a HE, you can clear that T62 with 4 shells. You and your platoon mate, 2 shells each, 1.7 seconds or whatever the reload is, and done. He's gone. So yeah, I would definitely recommend trying to play them as a platoon. It will be mega fun, and I will definitely be doing that. Now, also the tanks have the track, you know, where you get it's like a second or a couple of seconds track where it just, you can back up whilst you're tracked. You can sort of still move to try and get out of the way, which I think is pretty goddamn good, because a lot of the times you are tracking when you're sort of side scraped, where they go for your track to keep you there. If you're in that position, you can still back up. Yes, you are going a lot slower, but you can still back up, and I think that is vital, absolutely vital. And it's a shame that it's only these tanks that get that at the moment. Hopefully Wargaming will implement that into globally, like all tanks. Do I think it's a good idea? Probably not, no. I think it takes away the fact that you're tracked. You shouldn't be able to move. But, you know, it's there. Wargaming have added it to these tanks. I don't want them to add it just to these tanks, because I think that will just be a little bit unfair. Just like with the speed boost, when Wargaming gave it to the TDs, the British TDs, I thought that was a little bit unfair, but then they have implemented it to a load of new other tanks. So the line itself, I think, is definitely worth the grind. It really is definitely worth the grind. That enjoyable tanks, don't know what, I mean, look at that. You can see the armor profile on that tank. Yes, you can hit the hatch, but if you're moving, then it's going to be a difficult pen. I don't know. It's not as good as I thought it would be, but I thought it was going to be OP. Like, I really thought it was going to be OP. I don't think it's OP, but it's a very good tank. I haven't got no idea what Droodles is on about, the most boring tank in the game. Yeah, this definitely not boring. It definitely isn't boring. It can still perform. When you're in tier 8, especially, you can perform, because you're doing a lot of damage. I mean, in 1.7 seconds, you're clearing half the enemy tank's hit points, or one tank hit points. Yes, you're on that big reload, but if you've got your team with you, always make sure you have your team with you, because of course the DPM isn't great. It's quite low, in fact. But you do have that alpha. You do have that massive alpha if you're running the 2 shell, and even if you're running the 3 shell, you can still do 900 damage with the 3 shells. But it's just going to take you a little bit longer to do that 900. Now you can see there, when you are reloaded, always try and make sure you pen your shots, because if you don't pen your shots, you're just dropping half your DPM is dropping, and you're gonna not be able to perform as much as you should. So always just take that extra little bit of time in aiming your shot, because you want to pen. If you don't pen, you could be screwed. You're then on a 22-second reload, and you've only done 500 or 450 damage in that 20 seconds. So definitely make sure you pen your shots. Yes, I know the intro clip is 1.7 seconds, but if you have to spend that extra little bit of time aiming, then you need to do that. You have to do that. You can see the armor profile from this kind of angle. Yes, it's an easy pen. This is what I'm on about. Look, the track repair. He's able to back up out of cover, and that saved his life. 100%. That track saved his life. He's supposed to be tracked in that position. The enemy went for the track to try and clear him, and they weren't able to clear him because of the automatic track repair, whatever it is, like where you can move your track. I think it's good. I think it's good for the tank. It's an amazing thing, but should they do it? I don't know. Like, that's the enemy. If I was the enemy, I'd actually be pissed off now. Like, they went for the track shot to keep him there, and they weren't able to they weren't able to clear him because of that track shit. So even though I think it's good, it is good. It's OP. I think it's OP. I don't think it should be there. I mean, if they would have tracked him where he would have been dead. It would have now been a 3 versus 1. This outcome of this game would have been completely different. These guys are one shots now. Both one shots. This other M V Yoh is just rushing in. He's still on a reload, which is unfortunate, so he's not able to do anything. But the M5 does take out the other M5, and now it is a 2 versus 1. But, I mean, they're both one-shots, so they do have to be very, very careful. Do they rush together? Could be an option, because the other M V Yoh is a one-shot as well. But they're just being very, very patient here. There's still loads of time. They're waiting for the M5 to make the mistake. There's one shot. I think he has the other shell, the 3 shell, and I'm not sure if he has shot that 3 shells, but he's pushing in. Now he's going to have to pay attention because there's one bounce and there is the second, but he does manage to pen that, and he does manage to get a nice high roll. So a very decent game there in the M V Yoh. I think the tank is very, very good. And actually, it's not over yet. I thought it was over. Where is this M3 Yoh? Is AFK, they said. So, nice bit of free damage for this guy. So, definitely a worth lurf. Definitely a line worth grinding. It's 100%. If you can get the HE shot, we're going to see now. If you can get this, if you're running the 2 shell and you can pump up some HE, you're going to see just the kind of damage you can do. I mean, okay, fire. But look at that. Around 1200 damage in 1.7 seconds. If you come up against Waffles, Borzix, Grills that's not running the Spoolliners, you could do 1200 damage in 2 shots. It's, yeah, that's amazing. And that's why I personally prefer the 2 shot over the 3 shot. But a lot of people will prefer the 3 shot because of the DPM, but the DPM is not that different between both guns on this tank, not like it is on the tier 6. So that is it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video with this amazing looking alien tank here. It definitely does look like an alien tank, like Wargaming said in their video. It looks like it's a mouse has come either side of it and just squashed it. But you know, it's a decent tank, definitely worth grinding. And I think you will enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy this tank. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all very soon. Bye bye.